PumpFun's presale and token airdrop has been confirmed, a TGE and airdrop date for Blackhole has been set, and Goblintown returns with their very own token. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Crypto Gorilla video. As usual, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing in this video is financial advice. If you appreciate me consistently putting out these videos, hit that subscribe button and let's jump right into it, starting off with PumpFun, who have just confirmed that their sale is going to be happening this weekend on July 12th, where they will be selling 15% of their token supply to the public. Now, if you want to participate in the sale, you're either going to need to have set up an account on one of their partnered exchanges that does KYC, or you can do it directly on the PumpFun website. Again, KYC, so you're gonna have to reveal your identity, and if you're in either the UK or the US, you are not able to participate in this sale. Now, the sale itself is going to be happening on a first come first serve basis, so if it opens up and sells out in seconds, tough luck. However, they're trying to raise 600 million, so I don't expect it to sell out in seconds, in which case it can last up to 3 days until July 15th, at which point the sale will officially close, and then anywhere from 48 to 72 hours after that, the token is going to start trading. So I'm seeing a ton of opinions about this all over the timeline. I'm seeing a lot of FUD and bearish takes. In fact, if we look on Cookie, you could see that PumpFun is currently in the bad sentiment category, and people are bearish. And the main reason they're bearish is because of that $4 billion fully diluted valuation, which would put them in the running for top 30 cryptocurrencies in all existence, right after Pepe and Aave. Now, one of the reasons people are so mad about this valuation is, because they want to invest in it and they want to make profits. However, 4 bill does leave very slim room for profits and makes it a lot riskier if you're considering entering this. Now, with it being so late in the cycle, a lot of people are saying this is an exit scam, like the company's dying and they just want to do one last liquidity grab, which I could understand that logic. However, if we look at this tweet from PumpFun, they say like their plans to, and by the way, they want to raise $600 million in this public sale. They say their plans are to go after Facebook, TikTok, and Twitch, which is a big endeavor that does require a lot of money. And the benefit of doing a token raise, you don't have to give up any equity in your company. You're basically creating value out of thin air in exchange for people's money. Now, if we jump over to this tweet by Alon, he goes through like a thread here talking about how they want to hire more people, how they want to, fix the UI. Their main focus is around streaming. However, at the end here, he mentions they're going to announce their first ever acquisition. And we have this tweet by Easy here where he kind of speculates who they may be bought. Again, mostly around clipping and streaming. So a clipping company similar to WAP, an easy streaming platform like StreamYard, maybe a media or distribution company. So this is the kind of stuff that they're going to put that money towards. They are really going after the whole streaming, they're going after Twitch, they're going after Kick. Personally, I don't know much about this world, so I don't really know what it takes. It seems like it's very difficult from my understanding. And I'm not sure any platform in Web3 is actually succeeding at this. I have never watched a PumpFun stream outside of, random meme coin ones, but I've never come to this page to go to a stream. And it's also something that Abstract is trying to tackle, but same thing there. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of viewers. But at the end of the day, if you're just here for a quick flip, you don't need to care about the vision and if they're actually going to be able to pull it off. All you care about is if the token's going to be trading for more than you bought in at. Now, I'm seeing a lot of people compare PumpFun's raise to the Otherside. One, because it's late in its cycle. So Otherside was late in the NFT cycle. Here we're very late in the meme coin cycle. Otherside also raised a whopping $317 million, and that's not counting the like 200 mil that we burnt in gas trying to ape it. And this worries people because Otherside basically marked the top of the NFT market, right? Bored Apes are trading at 150 ETH. Now they're down to 10 ETH. They've never been able to recover. Even ApeCoin, because you needed Ape to get in the land sale, it went all the way up to $27. Today it is trading at 63 cents. Now, while I could understand the comparison, I do think there's some differences. Yuga raised for a land sale in a metaverse. One, the metaverse narrative was dying. Two, the game didn't exist. Like, it's going to still take years to create. And you could make that argument for PumpFun. Dominating Facebook and TikTok and Twitch is going to take a long time. And yes, Yuga did have a lot of revenues coming in through royalties and also NFT sales. especially after the royalties died with Blur coming in to kill the whole royalty market. However, PumpFun also has a ton of revenues. They've made over 500 million in lifetime revenue. And if we look at the past few months, yes, meme coins have been going down, right? They had a period where they were making stupid money, but they're still pretty consistent. Like in the last 4 months, not counting July, they've made between $35 and $45 million every month. So they're still consistently making money. They've also launched PumpSwap, where they've already made $53 million in revenues from this in just in like 4 months. So I do feel they're in a good place. Yes, there's a lot of competitors that have showed up now, like Moonshot, Launch Labs. There's Bonk that a lot of people think is going to take over. And there's also things like Believe app. But like we just saw, they're still consistently making good revenue every single month, despite all the competition that's popped up. Now, some people are saying for the revenue that they're making, like 40 mil a month, 4 bill is crazy. But when you look at a company like Circle in Web 2, and I feel like if this was a Web 2 product with this kind of consistent revenue, Web 2 would ape this if they IPO'd. If we look at Circle, they make less than $2 billion a year, and their stock is currently trading at like 25x their yearly revenues. And if we apply that same logic to PumpFun, that's like 12.5 billion. So 4 billion doesn't seem too high when you consider that. I'm not saying it's going to trade for 12 billion, but that's just how I'm looking at this. Now, the other thing I'd say about the Otherside mint is despite the mint price of like 2 ETH by the time Ape went to $27, and despite the 2 ETH you had to burn in gas just to mint it, it was a profitable mint. You could have made 2 ETH per land in profit. So now I guess the next question is, should I ape this? Which I know I'm going to get in the comments in Discord. I'm going to get tagged in Twitter. And first of all, you should not do anything because another person's doing it. So just because I'm going to give my opinion now, it should not shape what you're doing. You need to decide on your own what you're doing, because we're in 2 different positions. We have different risk tolerances and, bag size and all that. So the way I'm looking at this, or first off, I view this as a coin toss. Like it's either going to be good or it's not going to be good, which that's an easy answer, right? You could say that about anything. But the way I'm looking at this is, okay, what are the odds that this does well or not well? Again, I think it's 50-50. So that's kind of tough. And then how much money do I think I'm going to lose if it does bad? I think it's going to be like worst case 50% and like a least worst case 25%. Base case, obviously break even. And then best case, I think like really stretching it a 2.5x. I think that is the best case, which I know for a lot of meme coin traders, 2.5x sucks, right? You want your 20 or 50 or 100x, but the traders that I'm talking to here, they're all sizing in. They're putting in 100, 500,000, $1 million into this. And the way they look at it is, hey, if I put $1 million and I make 1.5x my money, I just made 500K. So again, I think it's going to be an airdrop. So you need to really think about it in your position if you're comfortable doing this kind of thing, because there is no guarantee that it does well. I would not expect the team to support the chart just because they raised 600 million or even more with the private sale. They raised like $1 billion. I would not expect them to come in and save your bags, because why would they? They already have the money. They don't need to support it anymore. Now, as for the community airdrop, we have confirmation here. Airdrop coming soon. We still don't know what the percentage is going to be. Here we have 24% reserved for community and ecosystem initiatives. From my contacts, they're telling me it's going to be closer to 10% airdropped, not on day one. I'm hearing rumors anywhere from 10 days all the way to 6 months, which that would really piss people off. So I hope it's a month or less. But the real question is, who gets the airdrop? Because Wizard of Soho put out I think it's a troll, this tweet. I don't think it's real, but he put out this image showing, developers are getting paid per launch, per bonded, and then they're getting paid $1,000 for 1 million of volume traded, which this is a funny thing to think about, because who are they going to reward? The traders, which I think naturally they will, but if they're also going to reward their developers just to encourage people to develop, they're basically rewarding people who rug tokens, because there's so many rugs on this platform. Imagine you rugged a coin, somebody CTO'd it, and now you're getting paid because they did millions in volume from the CTO. That's definitely something that's funny to think about. So it's going to be very interesting to see the airdrop mechanics that they come up with and, not piss people off. And then the final one he points out here, $5,000 per stream with over 25 peak viewers. That is a very low barrier. If they're rewarding people this much for 25 viewers, I don't know, I would just stream all day and bought my streams and then just get a ton of money. Now, the other thing I think could happen, which Pix brings up here, is this is possibly going to suck up a lot of liquidity as people sell off their meme coins in order to ape into the PumpFun token. It's something we saw with Trump. When Trump came out, Sol meme coins just took a huge dump, right? Everybody was trying to get into Trump and everything else around it dumped. So there's money to be made on a short, and then you could possibly pick up some tokens that you really like for much cheaper. Or maybe this is going to do like Trump when Melania came out and just nuke the entire market. So again, who knows? Coin toss, but at the moment I'm considering putting money in because I don't know, I want to gamble. I think it could do decent. At minimum, I do think it's going to break even, so I'm not too worried. It would be really bad if it was like at 3 or 2 bill, but I'm ready to take that risk and lose money in order to make money. Next up, we have Blackhole, which is the DEX launching from Alex Becker and Elio Trades. We finally have some dates here. So the mainnet is going live on July 11th, but then their TGE as well as airdrop claim is going to happen on July 16th. I thought they had said that airdrop claim is only going to be 2 days after TGE, but maybe with the delay between mainnet and TGE, they want to do this. Interesting time around the PumpFun sale, especially if PumpFun token ends up going live on July 16th. So it'll be interesting to see where the liquidity flows, especially since they're going to do a ton of airdrops. If you have any of these NFTs, or you're part of any of these tokens, so Superverse, Neo Tokyo Season 1 and 2, Imposters, Super Champs, if you did LP, if you provided LP or voted on Pharaoh, Thena, Curve, Shadow, or Aerodrome, and some other stuff down here, you're going to get an airdrop. Also, they announced a bunch more on their Twitter, so definitely check that out to see if you qualify. And the way you're going to claim your airdrop, like they mentioned in this article, it's going to be on their main website, so don't get rugged or phished anywhere else. And they do mention here there's going to be an airdrop checker, so I imagine they're going to release that early. For the time being, the Blackhole website is still just a placeholder that says coming soon. So I'll have another update about this on Monday. Next up, we have this announcement out of OpenSea that they have acquired Rally, which is a mobile crypto wallet and trading platform. And this is huge for OpenSea because, or first of all, I should say I am an ambassador for OpenSea, so I'm clearly biased, but in my opinion, they are by far the best crypto exchange on the market. Both their UI and UX are unmatched. They are constantly pumping out new features. They are listening to community feedback. So I am really enjoying OpenSea too. However, now they're entering a new arena because while trading tokens was a feature they recently added, so you can already trade crypto on their platform, now you're going to be able to do everything in their app: NFTs, crypto, perps, and DeFi. Now, I know a lot of people are just concerned with their C airdrop, like they just want the airdrop to happen, but this acquisition is actually really good for the airdrop because before the C token would have just been an NFT exchange token, but now it's going to be an everything token because they're going to have so many offerings on their app and their platform. So it increases the overall valuation of the company and it increases the odds of the airdrop doing well. So I don't know when the airdrop is going to happen. Okay, I have no alpha on that. I have zero knowledge on a timeline. I did put out this tweet showing like League of Legends elos for what XP you have. I completely made these elos up, okay? It's not real. The brackets, I mean. However, the data is, I hope, real. I got it from this Dune dashboard. So you're able to, I'll link it down below. You're able to go see where you rank against other people. So if I go to my rewards, I currently have 9,400 XP. So I'm in the top 5%. I'd even say I'm in the top 1%. And hopefully by next week, I'm going to have made it into the 10K club where there's only 4 people at the moment who have made it there. So again, I have no idea when the airdrop is. I'm just continuing every single day to complete my voyages and try to get treasures and shipments and all that. Last but not least, we had a surprise announcement out of Goblintown where they have launched their own token called Gob. And essentially, if you hold any of their NFTs, which there are a lot, I had no idea they had this many NFTs as part of their ecosystem, you are eligible for weekly token claims. So if you buy the NFT in 3 weeks from now, you're still able to come and do these weekly claims. However, I was not a buyer at these prices. I posted this list on Twitter showing the payout compared to the current floor, which I think the floors are still pretty much the same. Yeah, it's at 0.2. So if you own one Goblintown, which costs you near $600, your weekly unlocks of the token at 20 mil FDV, it's gone down 50%. 10% from here is $9.20. It's going to take you 62 weeks just to break even on your purchase. And that's assuming the token stays at 20 mil FDV. Now that it's gone down to 12 mil FDV, it's more like 100 weeks in order to break even. So I did not touch any of these. Goblintown is the only collection that got some volume, as you can see here. To me, this was an exit pump. Like if you bought one here, if you held one, you could have exited here because, I don't know, people just felt FOMO and they bought in based on the announcement. They didn't actually do research or do math to figure out how much you're getting paid for holding any of their NFTs. Like, dude, some of these, which granted the NFTs aren't expensive, but they're, 4-cent payout per week. It's not even worth it. It's not even worth talking about. Now, in all fairness to the team, they never said that any of this was going to happen, right? It's not a promise they made. They did this for fun. So I got to give credit where credit is due. It's one of the only teams from 2021 that is continuing to push out updates and build things for the community when they don't have to. I think Goblintown was just a free mint, so they didn't have to do anything. And their games are actually really good. They did that like driving up only game, and I believe the Gob token is also tied to a game that hasn't started yet. So kudos to them for sticking with the NFT market and not just throwing in the towel like a lot of other collections did. But on that note, we're ending it for today's video. I will have another video for you on Monday where we talk about NFTs, whitelists, what I'm doing in the market, what airdrops I'm farming, and all that. So if you haven't already done so, would you kindly hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, knock out the bell notification button. Thank you for watching another Crypto Gorilla video. Peace.